something. Please look at his tile, leg tile, and his scale, because he's architect. Okay, he has to work. So he get out to the terrace. So he get out the terrace to look at some building. And this thing is really nostalgic, so very emotional. So he goes there and pick up the scale and go to work, take the elevator, and go down to the tube and get out of the tube station. And this area is called Foster. So he goes to his office and push the button. This is in the front door. And he's in the digestive office. So there is a kind of elevator sucking into the building. And he goes to kind of delivery system and goes to his office and walk until afternoon. And it's about time to eat, so hungry. So take another elevator, go through here and to the restaurant, tropical restaurant. And take another kind of elevator, kind of sticky elevator, quite extremely sweet. And then go to the dining room, so he can have two choices. Two kinds of meal can choose: absolutely square and absolutely round. And when he is eating something, he reminds something different in the morning. This is what he was seeing in the morning. So he decided not to go to the office, get out of the office, and go to a shop to buy a white tie, which he and go to the last building, which I call Utopia, and he made another robot, which is string robot. So it's a big romance story. Okay, so I think for this design process is very important. I spend lots of time to clarify my design process, but it's difficult to simplify how can I translate this script to my design. So I pick up some opposite technique. For this one, when I decided to show the information in the script is not enough, so I try to pick up some visual by this is the sequence. I pick up this part, the script, which script. And I draw the script from my device. This process is quite subjective, so I can't explain more anyway. This two frame is inside the show. So I start to read it, but information is not enough. So I start to manipulate the frames by overlay, by distorting. Then I start to read very hard. This very visually this process. And I extract this part and start. This process I call image sculpting. Image sculpting. From this part, I already think about the volumes. So I start to read volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, which is next to the short program. So I start to clarify the program, and I sculpt a building. I would say here is still two-dimensional, very two-dimensional. And I start to draw a plan, and I break into two parts, which I already know roughly the volume. And I break into two parts and study the plan. And the red part is the movement floor. And I start to draw plan several kinds of possibility, which I think which one is interesting. And I start to settle down the line, which is part is more clarified. And this part I look at the movement floor more carefully. How can I go from ground floor to volume 1, volume 2, volume 3? And then I start to look at the attached elements. How can I attach a terrace here? How can I put a panel here which form a corridor? And also just attach element and allow the movement more smooth, and I have more platform. And in this building, I'm interested in the slope, so it's a bit 15 degrees slope, down slope, and terrace is 15 degrees up slope. It's my program is about small dodgy area, so I try to transform the motion part into my building. Okay, this is the shop design process. Another opposite way technique I use is when I did this construct Utopia, which this one, the script is quite very narrative, and the information is a lot. So I can construct by frame. So it's like okay, I take script and I start to read this script. So I make it more clear. So I write into text. So it's like it's very big, and the dark is very dense. And can you read? It's from here. So it's very frame by frame. You start from a slope entrance, and you open the door, which is about 1 meter by 6 meter anyway. And the interior is very dark and dense. And there's no window, so you only have light resource. And a bit up. So you like go up from here and go to a terrace, and terrace is narrow. So this is the special part I get. But also I extract emotional part. It's a final destination, right? So he is going to meet some people. So must be very anxious and excited. So special part and the emotional part is anxious and excitement. So I make the floor as curved to express the anxious emotional. So this entry is about 400 meters. This transaction, it's about 20 meters wide and 30 meters long and 20 meters high. The concrete wall is about 2 meters. So and no window, only open space is connected to terrace. So when you get in space, it's very all dark and very heavy. Only one light indicates. So you can read a bit from here anyway. And this is two opposite technique I use. And, like the tropical restaurant, I'm more interested in the entertaining and some sublime. And in the Bottom Inn, I was interested in. I had a script here, so I could never meet the other residents. So I was doing research. There is eight residents here, but they never met each other. So they have their own entrance here. People go to the one floor, have to take elevator here, and people live in ground floor can go here. So they never met each other, but only through the polycarbonate or ambiguously. So I also already think about the materials, lighting. So the facade is smooth, but it's polycarbonate. And there's a terrace for only self-indulgence. So I was looking about kind of the boredom, like a very future nostalgic kind of scenario in this building. And in the shop already explained here. Yeah.
So it's just a digestive office. What's the idea about the digestive office?
It's a situated in a place, very growing place called Foster. So actually, I was thinking about the building process honestly. So I think about how can I grow an architecture by growing a tomato. So I just put the concrete and shape of anywhere. So the beginning is a bit. So every process is very different. But sometimes you have to go back to the screen and scratching and come out.